This is the Why the Hell podcast with Ty and Ken. And we are proud to say we are brought to you by thegamingcorner.org.
What's poppin', good people of the Americas, all of the Americas. If you're not part of the Americas, we still love you. But this is the reboot. This is episode 1 of the Why the Hell podcast. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
All right. So if you're familiar with our work, we did this sometime last year and kind of trailed off after 4 episodes. But Kenny hit me on the text message and was like, yo, enough said, we're rebooting this. So here we are.
Picking it up from the top. Honestly, I would say that I like rebooting it because I had a ton of fun doing it, right, the first 4 episodes. But I feel like also you could tell we were a little shy and kind of didn't know what to push, what envelopes to push, and what to say, what not to say, as much as we were having fun with it. But what better time than now? We've been having some fire conversations again, even though we always do. We'll have phone calls about the glitches in the Matrix. We'll have phone calls about just the shows we're watching, Invincible, the Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Cap and the White Wolf, how it should have been at the end. But why not bring it back? Why not bring it back to this? Have some fun again. And honestly, this is a little thing to, get rid of that. Take care of the mental too. We were having a lot of fun with this.
Oh yeah, definitely starting to help out with the outlet here. Coming off this pandemic life, as things start to open up, and using that as an outlet to just talk about certain things and break up the monotony of life. Before we continue going, I just want to do a few housekeeping items here. So to start off, the viewers will see Kenny has a very beautiful, colorist, stylish background. I got the New Orleans Saints, Kobe Bryant stuff there. My stuff is here. It's just invisible. What I did is, I got some not safe for work posters and whatnot. So what I did is I make my whole backdrop invisible. But soon enough, couple episodes in, you'll see a few more things in the background. Probably not, but
nah.
I just wanted to point that out. This is kind of our personalities in a nutshell there. And then 2, you might see me sipping on a coffee from time to time. It is 9:00 p.m. on the East Coast here, and life is just getting turned up. So if I'm a bit woo, then you know why. But what are we getting into, Ken?
So honestly, I think today, let's jump in. I think it's still fresh. I just rewatched it today because I was like, what, we're gonna talk a little bit about it. Why not? Let me rewatch that last episode of Invincible, and I was like, what? So I want people to know we're not gonna just talk about what we watch. Sometimes we're gonna just have fun. Like some topics are gonna just be. Maybe it is going to be a movie we watched, or maybe a show we watched, or the glitches in the Matrix this past week, or whatever nonsense we got going on for the past week. But this season of Invincible was a little too much not to talk about, and I was itching just to talk about it. And I think we talked after every episode about it. And man,
that's fine. Let's jump right in. Where we starting at? So for those who don't know, Invincible is a show. It's like not quite anime. It's like a cartoon based comic book show. It's on Amazon Prime, and sort of the backdrop here is like there's this Superman character who he has a child, and his child becomes a teen, gets his powers, his name. He ends up making a superhero named Invincible. And it's kind of like his coming to age story. It's the first season of the show. I don't want to give up too much about what's going on here, even though we're about to kind of dive into this. So that's kind of contradictory. So maybe we can cut that out.
Nah, we're leaving that. It's raw right there.
But no, it's an amazing show. And you know what? It's one that, we've kind of been going back and forth after every episode. Like, have you watched it? And, so we'll kind of dive into that, but just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background. So I'll have Kenny start with where you want to lead this off in? Because every episode has some fire in it.
I want to start off with that first one. Let's lead off with how they just open up the season, right? Like, so I'm gonna be honest, right? I wasn't like throughout the first, most of this first episode. I was like, oh, okay, this is decent show, but I was like, I don't know how I feel about the bootleg Justice League. That's how I was sitting back. I was like, damn, like I'm in the flea market Justice League right here, Like, of course, Batman now is black and got no power still. Like, I'm like, Jesus, what's going on? And then we get hit with with the ending to that episode, man. And I was like, wait a second. All right, I could get on board with this. Not because of the violence, right? It wasn't just because of the violence, right? And not just because of the shock value, but I was like, wait a second. If they're doing this quick and this is happening first episode, then I can only imagine what the season has for us, what the story has for us, right? Because they're not holding back,
So, first off, Batman has powers, and the power is money. Batman has tons of money, whether it's black. He may not have as much as the regular Batman, but, swap meet Batman still has money. I'm willing to bet that. But they kind of give you a gut punch straight off the rip.
Right off rip.
My boy Dark Superman is out here just gut punching other superheroes, straight patow in the face, and you're sitting there watching like, whoa, wait a minute, is this the season finale? And you're like, nah, it's the first episode, so automatically you're hooked. They got me. Especially in today's climate with so many different choices of shows and streaming services. It's hard to keep attention nowadays. So they definitely need to do something to come out with a bang. And I guess if you follow the comics, that situation happens a lot later in the comics. So it was kind of interesting to see that they started off with that. And, leading a few episodes in, it was kind of like, how do you top that? But, I think they built from that interest, and then every episode subsequently kind of, was like, okay, so why did he do it? And, it correlated with, the growing up of Invincible himself. So that was pretty cool. But man, without giving too much away, if you haven't seen it already, please go check that out. It was definitely a masterful 2-3 minutes, however long it is, of just straight raw, I'm about to eat your face from my boy Dark Superman.
Yep, it was straight bath salts. And it was like the Florida man taking some bath salts, and Dark Superman, or however we want to call it, just went in. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I started that episode like it was real late at night. Sometimes when we're done gaming and everybody gets off, sometimes I throw something on real quick while I'm working on something on my PC. I'll throw up Amazon Prime, Hulu, whatever, and I was like, hey, this show just came out by Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead as well, right? So let me check it out. Right. I'm a little dozing off a little bit, and then that happens, and I was like, what? I was like, oh no, they're not doing this. So then,
and the best part about it was like there was no talking before this happened. My man just showed up out the dark, and it was just hands on sight.
On site, like I said, I honestly, I always go back. Like whenever I say hands on site, I always go back to that one meme and one meme gif of that Vice episode of the gang initiations when they're like, fight back. That was him. He was just on everybody. He was fight back.
And trust me, they tried, but it didn't go well. It didn't go well. It just
not at all, bro. And then. So then you're like, okay, wait a second. Like, is every episode going to be the shock value? And it's not, right? So then you start moving on. Mark, or, the main character, is trying to grow into being a hero and all that stuff. And then I know this is one of your favorite parts, right? So then he tries to help out, this guy who's on the line between, being a villain. He got some debt he got to owe. And he's like, all right, hey, help me take this dude out who's, keeping this neighborhood in poverty, and he's just a straight up bad dude. I'm in debt to him. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Help me take him out. And when they roll up in there, I know your boy, the Lionhead dude, waxing everybody.
So before we touch on that, we'll go back and kind of give the viewers of the pod a little bit of what's happened in between that time. So that
Yep.
happens like middle of the season.
Yep. 4 or 5, right?
Before that, my boy Mark starts to meet this other superhero chick. Dope. Her name is Eve. He's starting to feel her, but then also, he starts to meet like this other, woman who doesn't have superpowers, and he ends up kind of, rocking with her and falling in love with her, and you kind of see how he plays both sides a little bit, but he kind of, her name is Amber, and just trying to manage friendships and,
You see him struggling, right?
Exactly, and coming into being a superhero. But it's interesting to kind of just see like how it's relatable, how they made it relatable, and not just him having superpowers. It was kind of like him trying to manage this while also trying to manage his social life, which we've seen before. Exactly. But again, like not every episode could live up here. Sometimes you got to be in the middle, or there got to be a low episode. But
you got to fly on cruise control sometimes, and flesh out the characters, build the characters. And I like how you pointed that out, like it was relatable how he was struggling, because it's like, think about it, at that age, he's a teenager, he's in high school, so think about the first time you got a job. You got
and his dad's one of the most famous superheroes in the world.
Exactly. He looks up to him. Nobody knows that's his dad, but he's like, oh, damn, I'm going to be a superhero. I'm going to be a superhero like my dad. So,
which, side note, we need to stop giving these characters the same look and then acting like the rest of the world is stupid. You got scientists, doctors, magicians, whatever you want to say, and it's the same dude. Like, how does no one be like, yo, this is Omni-Man and this is this boy's dad? Like, are we not putting two and two together? I need characters. I need people to be smarter in these comic books. But go ahead. I apologize.
No, I definitely agree, because you're not going to tell me we weren't at a barbecue and Duke trying to break ice with Nolan and was like, yo, Nolan, hey, nobody's ever told you look like Omni-Man? No one? No one, not over a hot dog, not over the ribs. Like, yo, Nolan, you got to hook me up with the recipe for your ribs. And damn, man, not for nothing, but you kind of look like Omni-Man, man. Like the whole face, the hair, like the structure, the body structure. Like you a big dude for a writer.
Like, he has to fly off in the middle of the cookout at some point. You know what I mean? Like, in the middle of just conversation, he's like, yeah, man, so I just got this new girl, and then he has to fly off, and you know what I mean? Like, or he just has to disappear. He doesn't fly off, but it's like,
exactly, he's getting called away.
He's going.
Like, he's like, oh, emergency at work. Like, yo, you're a writer. No, what kind of emergency you got to work, bro? Like, I gotta go. Gotta meet my publicist. Boom, flies off.
But to get back to the point where my boy Lionheart comes in and straight smacks a couple dudes up. To me, this is probably one of the third
best episode,
best moment in the show so far to me. And I say that because it was kind of unexpected, and the way they worked it in was real masterful, in my opinion. It wasn't like they made this Lionheart dude or his gang like the center of it. It was kind of just like a throwaway character in a sense. And, my boy came through and did some straight damage before he walked out and said, nah, I'm not really here for this. Y'all some weaklings. I'll deal with y'all later. And, left my boy in the ICU. And it was pretty interesting. And it was a very great moment, up until that point. I don't know if you want to touch on it or not.
Oh, man. How can I touch upon what I liked about that part without spoiling it too much? So I will say how that one gets set up, right? It kind of, for me, foreshadowed some of the cold-bloodedness to, our boy Omni-Man. Yeah, maybe because, I hope whoever's listening in, it's already watched this episode, right? Hey, because I'm about to spoil a little bit for you, right? So Mark's getting waxed by Lionheart, right? And Omni-Man's like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna put in a tip and get some backup for him, but I'm not gonna come down and help myself. He's gonna learn a lesson. And he lets his son get beat to a pulp.
Nah, beat to a pulp. Nah. We're not about to do that. He didn't get beat to a pulp. My boy got put on life support, son.
He did. He got multiple surgeries, emergency surgeries, because homeboy was about to die. And he at no point in time stepped in. Like, that's your son. I get
Nah,
you.
yo, sometimes you gotta let your son get his ass beat. Simple as that.
But
I don't have kids, but my
send
dad
them
let mine get my ass beat.
send them to life on life support, bro. Like, he saw it and he was like, "Oh, I don't know what happened." You know, like, try to act like he didn't know. We saw it. We saw the camera pan out to him. We seen him in the background. You know.
And I want to say, shout out to Mark in the episode, voiced by Stephen Yen. By the way, the
Oh my
voiceovers in
God.
this show are absolutely amazing.
Hot take. Want to know
Um,
who I thought was the weakest voice cast in the show so far?
Go ahead.
Dude that does Rick and Morty. Even though he was a real just not too long, but I honestly thought it was like the laziest one out of the bunch. You know, homeboy went in there with it was like, I'm like, oh, so Rick Sanchez is in here burping and everything, like with his iconic burps. You know,
Listen, they all can't be starters. Sometimes you gotta have a bunch of bench players. Sometimes you just need people on the sideline to clap. That's it.
I get you. I get it.
You just need people to fill the roster.
I get it. You know what? But definitely the weakest one for me. Top tier, J.K. Simmons.
Oscar. We need to give J.K. Simmons an Oscar.
Give him
J.K. Simmons deserves a couple Oscars.
I get that the TV shows. I think they don't do Oscars for TV shows. It's Emmys. Give him the Emmy. He needs it.
I'm black. I don't watch Emmys or Oscars, but give him an award for
something.
Shit, BET, holla at your boy. But what I will say is shout out to Mark, and getting to the BET point is I'm gonna need everyone to stand up and clap right now for the fact that in today's climate, my boy Mark stepped in and helped the black community. He helped my man Sandman, who's a black character. And for Robert Kirkman and them to write that part in there, it's a small part, but damn, that felt good. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was just helping grandma and her kittens, like you traditionally see. My boy Mark stepped in and was like, you know what? This minority community needs me, and he wasn't talking about black on black crime, nothing like that. And my boy got smacked for the black community, and we just want to say thank you. Thank you. I know it's a cartoon, and I'm half joking, but I just wanted to get that in there. Go ahead.
I will say Mark caught that L while helping the black community, and it still wasn't enough in his black girlfriend's eyes because she because he missed the soup kitchen. Get me?
I got another take on that, but we'll hold that for another day.
Honestly, I feel like like she got to get dropped. That's my hot take on it.
So before he gets to this whole tussle with his dad at the last episode, which I sent you, I'm pretty sure she dropped him.
Of course she did.
I won't spoil it, but just keep watching to the end of the last episode and tell me what y'all think, because I was real salty about how she just slid back into my boy's life after what happened to him. But we'll talk about that in a second here. Go ahead.
God, yeah, that I was salty about that. I thought it was Eve, and then I was like, whoa, girl, why is you back? I'm like,
and what? I think Eve is ride or die. Is ride or die.
Super ride or die. But I feel like Eve out here. Then I call, we catch Eve holding hands with homeboy when Mark is catching the pieces. Also in that last episode, get me?
Who was Eve holding hands with though?
Her ex. She showed up. She showed up at the headquarters. He grabbed her hand while she was stressed watching Mark catch the pieces.
I didn't see that. I mean, Rex got the swag though. Girls like bad boys.
I guess whatever. Rex. I love who voices Rex, man.
Remind me who voices Rex. You know his name?
I forget his name, but you watched The League, right? The show.
Yeah.
He's the brother-in-law of one of the guys in there. He's the one that does the porn with Seth Rogen.
Jason Mantzoukas?
Yeah.
Shout out to Jason Mantzoukas. Want to give respect to where respect is due.
Yes. Homeboy is phenomenal.
But we'll kind of touch on a little bit the last episode. Please let's not give too much away because I do want the viewership if they haven't already seen it, to kind of check it out.
Yes.
But wow, without spoiling it, I'm gonna say, choo choo to the face. You gonna learn today. You gonna learn today.
Honestly, the most intense 20 minutes I've watched, I will say.
And the episode is an hour, by the way,
Exactly.
or almost an hour.
So that first 20 minutes, holy crap, man.
Sweaty.
Super sweaty. Like, it's like them kids in Call of Duty, man. The sweats, the tryhards, man. That was 20 minutes of just those kids, the ones that think they're streamers, the ones that think they're gonna make it big in the business. It was just 20 minutes of that. I was like, yo, they blew whatever budget I thought they were gonna blow in that episode. They were like, yo, let's try and do 10 episodes. Robert Kirkman was like 8, because watch what I got for you in 8.
And the best comp that I have for the first 20 minutes is for any Dragon Ball Z fans out there, and I'm sure you've seen this, is the last movie with Broly, where it's just straight him smacking Goku and Vegeta. It kind of reminded me of that, just without the moment of my boy Mark being able to fuse with somebody. Oh, yeah. It was just like, oh no. It was just straight Broly handing out hands, or the equivalent of that. And I felt bad, and I felt like I was watching child abuse. And I had DSF on the line, like, listen, I don't know if y'all seen this last episode, but Robert Kirkman might need to be talked to and the creators. But wow, what an episode. And in a way it kind of tailed off at the end. It was like, they kind of got you up to be like, all right, be prepared for what's coming next. And hot damn, I'm ready.
Man, like I said, like, if that's how you end a season, I can only imagine what you have in store for us, because it had me feeling it all. It wasn't just the shock value of the smoke that got brought, right? Like, it was like all gas, no brakes, right? But then the emotional side, it was being thrown in there, right? It was like, not only am I gonna hit you, right, but I'm gonna hurt your feelings while I hit you. And I was feeling it all. I was like, I think, what was it? I had just finished playing some COD. You sent me a text message, you were working, and you were like, yo, this episode, I need you to watch it tonight. I was ready
to my employer. I was on break.
Yo, I was like, I guess I'm not going to sleep right now. Throw this episode on. Threw it on, and I was like, yo, how can I watch this episode and go straight to bed? I'd have to be like, have no empathy, no feelings, to just be able to watch it and just be like, I'm gonna shut my eyes and go to bed. I was sitting there like, yo, he caught it all of it, like, no remorse. And J.K. Simmons and Steve Young, yo, hands down, some of the best voice performance I've seen in any animation, whether it be anime, American animation, any of it. Top notch. You could see just the acting chops on point from the voice acting. J.K. Simmons had me feeling it all.
And to be honest with you, the voice of Debbie Grayson too, his mom, Sarah Oh, I believe is her name. I want to give credit there too. Also does an amazing job of kind of bringing that relationship together. It's kind of as a family, and I think she took one of the biggest L's of the show.
Just the emotional L, right? Like, it wasn't like anybody put hands on her, but I think I think the emotional L that she caught, right, was bigger than any of the physical L's that were handed out. Because as the season builds it out, that she is the head that keeps that body moving, that family moving, and keeps it together and keeps them grounded, right? and she catches that massive L at the end, that I can't wait to see how her character progresses in the seasons to come, right? Because she's gonna get fleshed out. There's gonna be growth behind that, and there's gonna be an encounter with Homeboy again in the future. So wonder how she deals with that on the second time around.
Exactly. And you hear all the time about people talking about how their significant other left them and getting a divorce and things of that nature. But think about this: like, does your significant other ever fly off the planet? And what are you supposed to do then?
Exactly. Like, it's not like
This question.
exactly. It's one of those, like, you get into the fight, but you still see this person, right? You still even if at the first fight you don't get to say how you feel, right? And get to let them know, like, yo, you hurt me. You get to catch them the next time. But
But you at least know they're on the planet.
Exactly. Like, right? You get hurt the way you get hurt, the way she got hurt, and then there is no, like, yo, this is how you made me feel, right? Because Homeboy just leaves, right?
Nah, you can't send a bunch of text messages and calls like.
Nah, because who knows
Pick up.
who knows what galaxy he's in. He just bounced, flew off.
Nah.
So definitely she caught the biggest L out of everybody, and right there, right at the end, and you could see it. She's not gonna. It's gonna take a little while for her to recover from that. Like, you saw it at the end of the episode, right before credits. Mark Carter, and I feel like that's also gonna be growth for Mark. I don't think he knows how to. He's a hero, right? He knows how to try to save people, but how does he comfort his mother in this moment? Like, you can even tell him. You can even see in, like, the moment that she tries to comfort him while he's recovering, right? Like, she tries to go up to him like, "Hey, I'm proud of you," and, like, he, like, kind of brushes her off, because what's there to be proud of? Like, that's how I took that. Like, it was like, don't be proud of me, because I'm not happy about what just happened. Like, if I could, I'd wish it didn't. So that's how I took it. I took that he was like, he didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear the, hey, I'm proud of you. None of that. He was like, nah, like, that ain't what I need right now. I don't want to acknowledge none of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and I think as a teenager, it's kind of hard to navigate those feelings. Everything that just happened between him, his mother, him, his father, and those two alike, and then everything that's happened with him and his friendship and kind of coming into his powers. But I think his mom, or the lines that his mom said too, she tried her best in that moment because she knows he needed to hear that. And it was just really great writing, especially for the first season. And now I'm very, very excited to see where this show goes.
Amazing writing, I will say.
A lot of source materials.
And I know we talked about this, right? I know there's going to be people that are going to feel like, oh my God, I never wanted to end. I know we're both hang on you think that they should wrap it up in 4. I think 5 is a nice sweet spot. I think that as long as they wrap it within 4 or 5 seasons, it's perfect. Anything past that, we are in the realm of fucking it up.
It's hard to go. I know we talked about this, but it's hard to go past. It's hard to go past 4 seasons of any show. It's hard. It's hard to keep people lose interest again, especially in today's age. I'm here for 5 if they can do 5 right. But as Robert Kirkman, Walking Dead, that's his claim to fame, and I think we can all agree that
overstayed their welcome.
A little bit too long. It probably should have ended it after 5 seasons. But
man, I left it at 6. I left it at 6. I haven't returned.
and it's hard, and you got spinoffs like the Fear the Walking Dead and things like that, and you still hear people chapping about it every now and then, but very rarely can you go past 4 or 5 seasons, and for any good show, in my opinion. But I'm here for it if they nail it right, and a lot of source material, so maybe they will. But please just don't Game of Thrones this.
Oh
please.
My God, yeah. Don't rush the last season.
Don't Dexter this.
Oh my God. You heard Dexter's back, right? It is. bringing it back with another.
Not really.
They're bringing it back with another season to try and make up for that last season.
We don't need reboots of shows. Get some new ideas, people, please.
You know, well, people are gonna say that we don't need the reboot of this show, but
Yo, yeah. With that being said, um, totally forgot this was no. This ain't the reboot. We just took a long break. This is season 2.
season 2, but season 1,
But no,
however
man,
you want to call it.
After this, no more reboots. How about that?
Yeah, no more. This is where it stands. Unless they decide to do a reboot of Beetlejuice and bring back my boy Michael Keaton, I'm all for that. But that's the only thing I'm asking for. You know what I mean? I'm not asking for too much. Reboot, sequel, whatever you want to do. Give me Beetlejuice again. You know, I'm not asking for too much.
How about a recasting? A recasting? No.
Man, I need Michael Keaton still as Beetlejuice. You know what I mean, there's this hidden Beetlejuice 2 the script somewhere in Hollywood that nobody wants to green light yet. You know, but I know it's out there. I just need it. You know, for Christ's sake, Michael Keaton's bringing back his Batman. Why can't he bring back Beetlejuice?
That's fair.
So
that's fair. All right.
Right. So honestly, you know, Invincible, great show, came out of nowhere for me. I never heard of the comic book. And I collected some comics, and it caught me off guard, and I am so glad I gave it a shot. I wasn't originally going to, just because it was Robert Kirkman, and I was like, yo, Walking Dead got stale. I know he's good, but what if this second outing isn't gonna be it, right? It shut me up quick, and I'm glad it did. And whoever hasn't seen it, like, you gotta be living under a rock. Social media might almost likely spoiled half of the show already, but give it a shot. If you're in Ireland, haven't watched it, and you're listening to this show, give it a shot, because honestly, it's worth it, and it deserves your attention. All 8 episodes. Give it a shot. Run through it. Let us know what you think, right? And I will be, we'll definitely touch, because this ain't the only one. We might come back, do a little small segment, on just a quick overview, because Falcon and the Winter Soldier didn't have the right in your face all season, right? But we might do a little mini discussion next episode, talk a little bit about that, because I think it's worth noting, especially with what that show did and how it set up the rest of the MCU. So I think it's worth talking a little bit about. We'll talk a little bit about the Matrix, not the movie, our lives, the simulation we live. Never know what we're gonna get, what you're gonna get next episode. But honestly, do tune in, hang in there. I don't know, you got any closing remarks about the show that you want to drop in there?
No, man. I just want to give a quick recommendation for a show. I'm not a huge TV guy, but I know they're coming out with season 2 of Love, Death, and Robots. So definitely check that out if you haven't checked it out already. It's like a cartoon anime version of Black Mirror. So I think if you'll like that, you'll kind of be interested in this. So I know they're coming out with May 14th on Netflix. So yeah, check that out. How about yourself? You got anything to recommend to the people?
Honestly, real quick side note on that, how surprising it is to me to hear so many people that have not watched it. Like, I've mentioned it to a couple people, and they're like, yeah, nah, I haven't seen it. And I'm like,
it wasn't presented in the right way. I feel like it, not like you click it and you feel like it's another anime show. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if they present it a little better, it'd be a bit of a bigger show.
That thing was amazing, honestly, and definitely we're gonna talk a little bit about that, because I'm binging it. Because if they do it the same way, I know I'll be able to get through it real quick in a day. And so that's no issue with me, because if I remember correctly, it's not long at all. I'm pretty sure within like a couple hours you're done, or even less probably. So great stuff. So definitely I recommend that as well. I just started the Yasuke, the Black Samurai anime on Netflix. Honestly, music is dope. The music alone on that show is dope. Like the intro music, I'm like, yo. So you can see the influence. They gotta have some black producers, black animators, behind it, because it definitely got some soul to it, you know. So far it's
And
good.
I know it's your domain listening to that type of music. That's what you take a shower to and get dressed to and kind of bump in your car. So
Yeah, you know how I do. But honestly, I'm just glad to be doing this again. As you'll find out, these episodes aren't going to be all that long. You'll be able to enjoy this over quick breakfast, quick lunch. Nice little coffee at 9 o'clock at night, because you're a caffeine junkie like some people I know. You can definitely, it's going to be going up on podcast services. It's going to be on YouTube. This is definitely a podcast powered and brought to you by my website, thegamingcorner.org, right? Plugging it in at the end, but still plugging it in. And, we're wrapping it up, but I'm glad, Ty. I'm glad we came back to this. I'm glad we recorded again.
consistency, baby boy,
We
consistency. We're gonna
back.
get better at this. I keep doing it, but
And it's definitely gonna look better. Once you see the video, you're gonna be like, "Oh!" Because before we had it, right, your big Nubian face right in smack dab in the middle, and I was off in the corner, right, and I had no light, so I was dark as hell too. Like I looked like a sinister villain in a Marvel movie, right, in the shadows. And all you heard was me talking and just some eyes in the background, at times, right? But the setup's better. Got the lights going. Got a much better mic, top notch mic.
Got that ring light for your OnlyFans, huh?
You know how it is. Ooh, the Dominican Bakugo.
Is that in the show notes too? The link to that?
It might be. It might not, because we gotta keep it on the low.
Right, that's fair.
But on the show notes, if you want the show notes, go to YouTube. Why the Hell Podcast, right? You'll be able to find us. If not, just search up the Gaming Corner. It'll be on that YouTube channel. And the content's gonna be there. We're gonna have fun. Because honestly, as I've said, some of the best conversations I have around just the nonsense that goes on. Tyrell getting chased by mountain lions. It's
That was real, bro. Was real.
Listen,
that's a story for another time.
As everybody knows, one of these moments, right? I'm gonna do a special episode. It's gonna be like a 0.5, right? And I'm gonna give Tyrell's future eulogy, just so the public, right, who aren't gonna be able to come and attend his future funeral, right, aren't gonna be able to witness his eulogy when I give it. I'm gonna record it, and now we're gonna drop it as a special filler episode, like a 4.5, episode 5 in between 6 or whatever, right? And it's just gonna be that. It's gonna be short and sweet, 5-minute eulogy. It might just go straight onto YouTube, not even hit the podcast services, but you'll be able to get to enjoy. I'll do a backdrop, do a black church, have some random people in the audience. It might, Pentecostal church. You never know which one. Never know which church he might watch. Sometimes he's Jewish.
I hope I don't die between then and now, because this episode's be real morbid after that.
This man leads a very healthy life, but you never know what could happen tomorrow, right? But exactly. Then end up having to give a real eulogy, and I have to live stream it, and we're gonna start it off with my Nubian friend. That's the first words,
Well, listen, my guy. I'm about to go eat. You know what I mean? I'm starving.
I know. Not that I don't love you guys. Chicken nuggets, right?
Don't worry about what I mean. All right. Times are hard. How about yourself, man? So let the people know one more time where they can find you at.
So they can find me, they can find me on Twitter at Ken, but not Kaneki. I know that's tough, but it's Ken, like in Kenny, right? And then but not, and then Kaneki is Kaneki. So that's my Twitter handle. Same thing for my Instagram, but I have that private, so you could find my gaming one. So it'll be Ken, but not Kaneki Gaming. And Ty, where can they find you or not find you, right?
Unfortunately, I don't got no social media right now. So if you need to find me through Kenny, the Fed. They've been tracking me for years. Everyone knows about it. So I have no social media. But maybe if this gets a little bigger and numbers come up, I'd love to reach out with you guys. But what I will say is, and what I'll try to say every episode is, make sure you get your mental health right. Very big proponent of that. You know what I mean? This is one of the reasons we're doing this. So
and get out there,
just
right?
always make sure.
And get out there, right? And enjoy the weather. If you're in the East Coast, we're starting to get good weather. If you're in the West Coast, you've been having good weather. And if you're in the down south,
Jealous of y'all, by the way.
exactly, right? So I know Ty got to enjoy the West Coast recently, so I'm jealous of him. But I did get to enjoy Atlanta, so you know how it is, Ty, right?
Word.
Get
We'll
out there.
talk about that in coming episodes. But it was nice doing this again, and we'll do this again soon, man.
No, definitely good. And I will see you, and I'll see you soon. But I guess I'll see everybody else next episode 2, in about a week. All right, guys.
All right.
Deuces.
Flying out. Deuces.
Bye.